Welcome to another episode of Talking Nerdy in the Bedroom with
Corey,
AJ,
and Mike.
Jesus Christ, Corey!
I didn't know you were starting.
Horrible timing.
Ghosty noise.
Or the best.
Who starts out a podcast with a ghosty?
That's
It
Corey.
was dark in the room.
Yeah, Corey has shut off the lights for anybody listening because it was too bright. It was
Hold on, let's see
eyes.
if they can hear this zip.
Now it's sexy time in the nerdy bedroom.
That's true. We do have a couch, boys. All right. So, yeah, we're back this week with a timely episode. We're going to be talking about Blue Beetle, the newest DC movie. Came out last week. We saw it on Saturday. Corey saw it on Sunday. And now we're talking about it on Thursday, which will air on Monday. Hey, look, days. So, this is the... technically supposed to be the first character of the DCU, but I'm not sure how much of this is going to be canon in the DCU compared to the DCEU with James Gunn.
Does the Flash count as DCU, though? Because
No.
it kind of rewrites the multiverse thing?
No,
is that
so
what
the Flash is still the DCEU, but they're going to be... like, it's kind of its own thing, and it didn't really rewrite anything. It just potentially moved that Flash into a different alternate timeline with George Clooney's Batman. Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to tell, and they might, with how much money that movie's going to lose for them, they might just be dropping that one dead and acting like it never happened.
Moving it to
they'll
the
make the money back in the long run.
DCEU Plus or something.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's already streaming. So
Yeah.
anybody could
Yeah,
just
but to
watch
be
Black
it.
fair, that
Adam
happens
was
a lot
streaming
now.
pretty... Yeah,
But
Adam
that
was,
also lost a lot of money.
What?
Yeah, Black Adam.
It lost money? I just thought critics hated it.
No, it lost money.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah.
I feel like in the long term, they still make money, though, right? Like, between, like, toys and advertising. and stuff
I'm
like
sure, but that's supposed to be like extra profit. Obviously, you want the movie to be more profitable than what it costs to actually make and advertise the movie. And this one right now, they're talking about it being a box office failure too, Blue Beetle. Even though it's, if you look at the critics and you look,
why.
Again, we're in the minority there. The critics and the audience for Rotten Tomatoes are big fans of this movie. It's like 70% for critics and 90-something for audience.
Well, I think it just depends. I think it was well done if you know Blue Beetle, but if you don't know the character Blue Beetle, it probably wasn't very meaningful to you.
You think 90% of the people that saw Blue Beetle knew who Blue Beetle was?
No, but I'm just saying, I think if you did know who Blue Beetle was, you might like it more, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because, like, I know who Blue Beetle was, but I never read a comic. Didn't really know too much about him. I just knew it was a character. And
So
I
you
just
didn't know shit.
I didn't know anything about, like, the backstory besides that he was, like, Mexican and there's a suit. That's about it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like you got that from the trailer, not from before.
no, it was from before, and then the
That is
trailer
exactly
reiterated it.
Yeah.
I was like, I was
The
right.
worst part about the movie was George Lopez.
I disagree.
Yeah, I hate George Lopez.
That's
though.
fine, but that if you hate him, that doesn't mean that he's the worst part of the movie. It might be the worst part of the movie for you.
Well,
but
that's
try to be
what
objective.
my opinion was, KJ.
Try to be objective.
I objectively don't like him.
KJ, I'm guessing the worst part was when they tried to redeem the villain.
No, the worst part was
Is
sitting through the credits for the after credit scene.
Oh, what
that
was the
so
last
fun.
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
It was that little cartoon scene again. So in the movie, there's this little cartoon scene when the grandma's watching TV.
Yeah, it's like some Mexican Superman
Oh,
cartoon.
yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, and it just goes on for like a minute, and then it ends, and George Lopez says, "That's sexy," which is the exact same quote he says when he sees the truck.
Yeah.
It was pointless, irrelevant, and terrible that we waited like an extra 5 minutes for that shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, that's why I told you that if you go, the first after credit scene, which is like a mid-credit scene, is fine. It's only like a minute. It's potentially worth it because it sets up a sequel if they do a sequel. But yeah, the other one's fucking useless. So when we went, Mike, there was, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 people in the theater at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really wasn't too busy. And that's what I've been seeing online too.
Noontime.
Still, it's noontime on opening weekend.
Yeah, but I still feel like if someone's going to go watch a movie, it's like dinner time.
I don't know.
It's like movie time.
When we...
This is the first movie I've seen at noontime in like years.
Oh, that can't be true. I feel like we've seen other movies at noontime with you.
I haven't gone. You and Corey go at like noontime on Fridays.
It's because it's the best time because nobody's in the theater.
But again, whatchamacalled? Because I was looking at it.
I agree with you. No one goes at that time.
Barbie was still sold out.
Barbie
was sold out.
Yeah, but like Barbie's shooting for like a wide ass array of people that are gonna go. You have people that like have had Barbies for years and years. It's a girl movie. It's like the first movie you're like, oh, come on, let's go watch.
Let's go Barbie.
Yeah, like it's a household name.
Do you know that it surpassed The Dark Knight in the amount of money it made?
Yeah, that's cool.
Inflation.
Yeah, partly due to inflation. Some of that's true.
Minus 20%, dude. Batman always wins.
So, what did we think about I guess, the opening of the movie in general of... I don't even remember how the movie opened. How the hell did the movie open? I know he's in college, or coming back from college, but isn't there a scene before that? Oh, yeah, it's when they're trying to crack open the thing to get the scarab.
Yeah.
Which felt like a very generic scene that we've seen in every movie imaginable. There's always that scene where they introduce the villain first and they've just finally found something. It's a very generic origin story.
How would you have done it?
Not that I would have done a different story, or I would have just jumped into it without showing
like
that.
you see other like Beetle things go flying through the universe or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
there are different Beetles.
My problem is they don't really have much of like an explanation other than that.
I'm assuming that would be a sequel.
Yeah.
So the storyline...
There's a red and a green Beetle?
Yeah, well, so the storyline for the Beetles is this alien race called the Reach, and they send these Beetles to basically conquer the planet by becoming a hero, and then people worship them or just dominating it, by whatever means necessary. So
how come the Blue Beetle didn't do anything?
Because the Blue Beetle, if you notice, when it's flying through space, it hits something and gets damaged, and so when it gets to Earth, its memory's been like messed up, and all it knows is that it has to bond with somebody. But that's why it doesn't remember what its mission is or anything like that. And so the storyline is when the Reach come, they reset the Scarab, and then the Scarab takes over Jaime Reyes' body completely. And so it's like a whole thing.
Forever?
Well, no. I mean, obviously, that would be a shitty comic if it was just like, he's gone.
I thought you were telling me like that's how it ends.
No, that his willpower overcomes it, obviously.
Does he become an
But there's, Martian Manhunter?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's a green beetle that goes to Mars, and so the green beetle guy is a Martian Manhunter. So he has like all the powers of the beetle.
It'd be so much better if it was a red beetle.
Yeah, I don't know if there's... I don't know enough about it. I only know green, the blue, and then there's a black beetle, which is just like a giant friggin' tank of a dude.
Where does that one land?
Well, he is
Africa.
Of the Reach, so he's that species.
So, I feel like for what you've said, there's a possibility of doing more for a sequel, and they obviously set some of that up in this one. The villain in this is very boring, both of them being, God damn it, Susan Sarandon? Is that her name? Yeah. And then her little henchman guy that then they did the...
Big
henchman guy that they did the whole arc for at the end.
Yeah.
I will say those scenes at the end with him reliving his history, I didn't mind those, but I didn't care enough about him to care about his story. Similar to I didn't give a shit about the tech guy. The tech guy that had his own little arc, too, about her calling him the wrong name, and then him being like, my name is this, and then he
Guillermo.
dies. Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
He's like, I'm Mexican, too. That's how I felt like that last thing.
It's really just worked. Bad. Like, there was nothing to care about.
I'm of the same race as you, so I'll blow my entire career and job to help you out.
Well, he was completely fine with them killing him to begin with because he pressed his little button. You could see his hesitation, but he still did it. He was like, you're going to die. And then only when he basically escaped himself did he go, okay, now I'll help. And he could have just left and shut the door too. But nope. Let's shut the door and kill myself to sacrifice for no reason.
That's Guillermo on the TV show What We Do in the Shadows. And he's
Guillermo.
Cool. I love that show, dude.
Yeah, Casey mentioned that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just wasn't. I fucking hated that, and the villain was boring. I did really. I enjoyed the suit. I thought the suit was fine. I also thought the suit when it first turns him into the suit. I thought that was a really cool scene.
I feel like he goes through a lot of clothes. Like that guy is shopping at Goodwill for the rest of his life.
The same with what? The Hulk, until he learned to, buy stretchy shit.
We got
that's weird too, because that never happened to my knowledge in the comics or anything. Like his clothes didn't dissolve. It was kind of more like Venom, where it just...
I wonder if they will eventually. Like, if it... Like, that was only the first few times of it turning him into it, because it's trying to, process his body and the clothes on him. And then moving in the future, they won't do that, because now it knows what to do.
Iron Man 6.
I did love the suit, though. It was,
Mark 6.
Perfect comic adaptation of the suit. And the weapons he used were straight out of all the stuff.
I hated the weapons until the end when she's like, I can create anything you want. I was really hoping the movie was going to be more of that. Of him using his imagination and creating some cool shit.
I didn't like the fact that he's like, oh, I don't want to kill anybody, no guns. And he picks a fucking huge ass car-sized sledgehammer and just blows people 80 feet into a door. Bro, that guy's dead.
No, he's maimed.
Sleeping.
He's sleeping.
No, dude, that guy has no lungs left. You have blown his ribcage through his lungs. He is dead.
That's a superhero trope thing, too. I can't kill, which I'm fine with, but yeah, let me basically kill you.
Yeah, Batman does the same thing.
Yeah.
Captain America.
I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to throw this
friggin-
really sharp ninja star thing that's shaped like a bat, and it's going to hit you in the forehead and probably go in.
Yep.
I'd rather be shot with a gun than be hit with a piston sledgehammer from an alien.
It's one of the reasons, and I don't know if you've played it, Mike. I know Corey has, but the Spider-Man game on PS4, PS5, if you throw somebody off a roof, they don't get actually thrown off a roof. You end up, the game does it for you, it shoots out a web and basically catches them and shoves them against a building. Because that's character accurate. He doesn't kill people. He'll beat the shit out of them, and then he'll, leave them there tied up. So I like that. That to me felt, accurate, of things that he would do.
Yeah.
But I agree. In Blue Beetle... I think you and I, even during the movie, were laughing about it.
Yeah,
at the actual movie.
Immediately after he's like, oh, I don't kill people. And then he, beats the fuck out of him with, big weapons. You don't kill people, but you have this 19-foot sword that you need 2 hands to wield?
Right.
Bro,
yeah.
That's going to cut
somebody in half.
fair,
isn't when he's using that, he's using it on the giant metal guy.
Okay.
So it's not cutting through his armor or
But just
anything.
one false swing? Yeah, what are you supposed to do? Oh, I didn't mean to kill you. I was just using a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
It's like the Jedi don't kill, but if they accidentally were swinging and somebody...
The Jedi kill.
The Jedi kill.
They don't
try to kill. That's my point. They're not trying to kill anybody. They're trying to capture them or whatnot. Unless they have a momentary lapse.
Right, but you could just shoot him in the leg then.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill him to shoot him. No guns.
Well, the other thing is the Beetle and him are symbiotic. So, the Beetle's instinct is to kill and whatnot. And so it kind of spills over into him a bit, I feel like.
Right, but then he picks out a weapon that's a fucking huge sledgehammer. He's like, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that won't kill him.
It's
That's
just
not
internal
a gun.
bleeding. It's fine.
No,
that's where the blood belongs, inside.
That's what I'm saying. I would rather be shot with a gun than be hit with a giant fucking sledgehammer. You're gonna die, but it's gonna suck the whole time.
No, you'll be fine.
You get shot with a gun, you're probably dead. Probably doesn't feel too bad.
Probably doesn't feel too bad.
I've never been shot to death. I'm just saying. I'm sure it's quick and painless. Being hit with a sledgehammer the size of a mailbox caves your bones in.
Yeah. So what did we think about I know you didn't like, God, I've already forgotten his name, George Lopez. But what did we think about the family in the movie? The entire family.
Annoying.
Corey?
Somewhat annoying, yeah. George
Yeah.
Lopez annoying. Grandmother was like
Terrible.
random at the end, and then not like just kind of dumb.
Yeah, I hated the family to me was one of the worst parts, minus some of the where family we stick together things was fine, but again, just a stereotypical thing that like every movie does. But for the comedy, I didn't feel landed for me. George Lopez had a couple moments that were okay. Your fucking wife loved George Lopez, by the way.
She always does.
Yeah.
She likes that corny humor.
But then the grandma thing pissed me off because, she just knows how to use a Gatling gun because she was part of the resistance before.
But not only that, like, how does she have the fucking strength to carry that around?
Maybe it's light. We don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
like alien-ish tech.
Great.
Just saying, maybe it's light. We don't know.
I saw Rob Gronkowski shoot a minigun on a YouTube, and it looks like he was having a tough time.
On a YouTube?
On a video. And on a YouTube. I'm fucking old, man.
Are you on
Yeah,
the
use the old
internet?
Are you
internet.
on the internet? On the Facebook?
Using the Facebook.
Did you ever see that message from a mom to her son? She was text him and she's like, "I do not like the new cosmetic you put on the Google. Can you change it back?" And he's like, "Mom, I don't own Google." She's like, "You don't own the Google?" It's fucking great.
And then Mike and I talked about this, but we fucking hated that that George Lopez somehow knew how to control this alien ship.
Oh, yeah. Everything.
Like
He just happened to have...
Well, it's not an alien ship.
Well, it's used from the tech from the Scarab.
Yeah, but it was invented by a human. So
With some of the tech from the Scarab.
so
yes.
what I'm saying is, if you put Tony Stark in there, he would be able to.
Is
figure it out.
is he fucking Tony Stark?
Apparently, he could build a freaking EMP out
Yeah,
the
they see
backside
that.
of
I
his
fucking
truck.
hated that too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm big anti-government, so I know I have this thing that's it's not
and
really
not only
an EMP
that,
either. It
you have-
hacks into it, so it shows that
Did
stupid
knock
cartoon.
out the power too, though.
I
Yeah.
guess, but it clearly didn't
Yeah.
knock out the power that much because if it did, then they wouldn't have been able to watch anything on the security cameras.
Right, but you're
True.
Cord Industries, right? You're Stark Tech.
Yeah.
You know, you have all this defense contract money, and you're going to be stopped by a little Tesla coil that can sit in the back of a pickup truck. Like, no defense on your hard drives whatsoever.
Nope.
Not that can withstand George Lopez.
Yeah.
And then he controls the ship, and that pissed me off because there wasn't even a scene where he
You mean
like
he drives the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, not only that, like, he's like, oh, I'm going to use my cloaking thing and use exactly where the little switch thing was.
Maybe it was labeled.
And their cloaking thing was just farting gas. And then
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
people that were shooting at him magically disappeared.
Yeah,
Because they got farted on.
yeah.
Right.
It was just
They were like in a firefight. He's like, yeah, it's cloak time. He lands in the middle of the courtyard that they're like firing at. Oh, where'd that ship go? Oh, there's a fog here. All right, everybody pack it up. We're all done.
It tracks.
does it though.
Yeah, I for the record, I didn't love the movie. I just didn't hate it. Apparently, you hated it.
I didn't hate it. It was
I
very
meant Mike.
average. Like to me,
Yeah, it was average.
The fighting.
it's a 5 only because of the suit and the action sequences were both good.
Like, the
And
fighting was
some
cool.
of the family
Looked cool.
stuff.
I
but
think I'm
other than that, it was
closer to the
terrible.
critic score. I'm probably 6.5.
well. Theirs is like 7.7, but
Well, I said I was closer to it than yours.
Well,
I thought they
sure.
rated it like 70 or something.
77 now.
Oh, okay. It's going up.
I guess. Not usually how those work.
It's because they watched it and then forgot how bad it was, and then wrote their thing
Again,
later
I
on.
don't
They're like,
think
"Oh
it's
man, what did we do
bad.
yesterday? Oh, we saw the Blue Beetle. I thought that was okay. Yeah, it was okay.
I just think it's
7.5.
average. It's just very average, which again for DC might seem like the best thing ever.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's pretty solid for DC.
Yeah. Like to me, the Flash, the only redeeming qualities of the Flash movie really was I liked Supergirl and I liked obviously Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was fucking fantastic.
I feel
That's
like
about it.
this movie, because it's like an origin story, should have been better. Like, I feel like having a mid movie as your like opener to this new superhero that nobody's heard before, or a comic book one that most people haven't heard before, is like just bad news.
I have to assume
I
though
agree.
that it had less of a budget.
104 million.
Well, that's a lot less than other DC
Yeah, but
movies.
I will say though, the CGI looked great.
Yeah.
Compared to fucking The Flash, which budget was super high compared to this one, like double.
Like if they had
I feel like they
mid
sacrificed on
acting.
director and writer to get decent
CGI.
decent-ish cast and then good CGI.
I feel like they could have saved a lot of money and had George Lopez be anybody else and use that towards the writer. You gotta move some funds around.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they thought it was good. And again, we're in the minority. There are more people that like this movie than don't like this movie.
Right.
And again, I don't hate the movie. I just think it was very, very average. And I wish, I think of Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, which was an obscure comic that they eventually turned into a movie. Now, granted, there's multiple characters within that story, so there's a lot to go off of, unlike this one where it's just kind of one. But that first movie of Guardians is a banger, and this isn't. This is fine. I'll never rewatch it. I have no interest in rewatching this movie at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've rewatched Guardians probably 2 or 3 times. Over
Guardians
the last,
3?
No, just the first.
Have you
the
seen
first
the
one.
third one again?
I have not, although I did see that now it's on streaming, so I'll probably have to watch that. Yeah.
Weeks.
Yeah.
I watched it again. It's so good.
Yeah, it is really good.
I like the second one, but it gets a lot less.
The Ego one?
Yeah.
Really?
I see. I like
That's
that
my
one, but
least
it's
favorite.
I like that one, but yeah, I agree. It's my least favorite. It goes 1-3, and really, it could go 3-1. That's how close those two are for me.
Yeah.
And then the second one is a distant third, but it's still better than a lot of other movies. Because it's got great things with Yondu, great things with Peter and his dad.
See,
I feel like maybe that's
thing
why I
about
judge it harsher, because I really like Yondu as a character. They killed him off.
Yeah, but they killed him off in such a good
in the
fucking
best
way.
Well,
way.
yeah.
Dude,
You can't
when
not
you go out
that
like
way.
that, oh, God.
Gamora was supposed to die, but then
she did die.
did die.
no, in Guardians 2.
Oh, I loved her death in,
Endgame?
no, it was Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yeah, so the Russo brothers
was really
came,
good.
I believe this story goes, the Russo brothers told James Gunn they really wanted to use her in Infinity War. So he kept her alive, but then also Michael Rooker and him talked, and that's how that whole storyline came, that he died in it, which I thought was a lot better than Gamora just
I'm Mary
sacrificing
Poppins,
herself.
y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
And just the dynamic between Peter and Yondu was so good, especially looking back at the first movie and this movie. Same thing with Rocket now. If you look back at the first 2 movies and then you know the stuff from the third movie, it's so fucking good.
That's why I like the second one, because the villain is good and complex. The
What
first
do you mean
one,
good?
like a good villain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not good.
No, the first one was just Ronan was just such a forgettable villain. He's just okay, he's just a guy that's kind of strong.
I agree with that. It's very good that the cast was so fucking good in that movie.
Yeah.
That it kind of outweighed the villain.
I loved meeting the characters and them becoming a team kind of ish by the end. That was 100% better than the second one. But if I'm looking at it from an overall view, it had no really good villain. So
And the first one, yeah.
The second one felt like there was an
So you're
actual
going to say all
obstacle
this
to
about
overcome.
Blue Beetle when they come out with their second and third movie? But
Well, I would hope. I hope the
didn't watch
second
it
one's
at all.
better.
Well, if they can expand on what Corey was talking about with these other Beatles, that could be something where you get to kind of
That
expand
should
the
be
universe.
a series.
Hey, real quick, how much did the first, what is it, Justice League movie? How much did that one make?
Make?
Yeah.
Oh,
A
I
shit
don't know.
ton, probably.
Oh,
It just sucked.
Well, still, right. So, do you think Blue Beetle is better or worse than the first Justice League movie?
I'm trying to remember.
the
'cause-
Snyder Cut version
Yeah,
or the
that's-
shitty version.
The first one that came out to movie theaters, not the Snyder Cut. Snyder Cut didn't even go to movie theaters.
No,
is
it didn't, but it's so fucking good.
I think
Well,
Blue,
yeah,
Be-
'cause
Blue
you-
Beetle's better
Blue
That-
Beetle is better than
than the original Justice League, not the Snyder Cut.
I left the Justice League The
Disappointing.
theater, fucking hating my life.
Yeah, that movie
I
sucked.
did not leave Blue Beetle hating my life. I left going,
All right,
"Eh."
so how much did they make at box
Oh,
office?
way more. 'cause
Oh
it's
yeah,
all the
Dude,
characters.
Justice League.
Right. So this is my point that I was getting to. If they could have integrated any other one of the DC like superheroes into this movie, even as like a cameo, and like marketed that, this movie would do better.
Probably box office wise, but I'll also say that I think there is
Because nobody fucking knows who the Blue Beetle is. Like nobody
knew
knows
who Guardians were.
Right, but they integrated into.
They had nobody
Yeah, there
from
was
the
nobody.
original cast in there.
Didn't they have? He's from Earth.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
Blue Beetle's from Earth.
but they don't have anybody from any of the MCU in the first Guardians. Nobody. It's just all new characters.
I feel like Marvel markets it better though.
Well, they do, and
Yeah.
well,
Well,
that's also a
that's-
better
again,
story.
They just make a better movie too. James Gunn, especially.
Isn't James Gunn taking over DC?
yes,
Yeah.
but
He
not
got here.
like the Flash was already done. Blue Beetle was already done.
The next movie that comes out for DC will be the first James Gunn.
Not the next one. No,
Why? What's the next one?
Aquaman 2.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Fuck.
Yeah. So I did hear that we're actually they're gonna do a Wonder Woman 3. I don't understand how, but I saw a tweet by James Gunn saying that she is Gal Gadot is their Wonder Woman.
Is it still called a tweet?
I don't know. What's it gonna
What
be
else
called?
would it
Because
be
it's called
called?
X. Well, it's not called Twitter anymore. It's X.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, Elon renamed it like weeks ago at this point, but I don't know what they'd be called.
It's
Tweaks.
It's called an X.
He X'd it out, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's fucking
Put out
stupid.
an X.
Did
You know he
Don't
tried
give
to-
it to you.
You know, he tried to do that with PayPal because he
What?
used to be an owner of PayPal,
Right?
and then he wanted to name it X, and then the other owners of PayPal like fucking kicked him out. So that's why he's no longer part of PayPal. And yeah, but he was trying to name PayPal X. And
They
now
showed
Pretty sure
him.
he has like
finally-
a controlling interest in PayPal, doesn't
not
he?
anymore now. Nope.
I feel like he's got a pretty significant chunk of PayPal.
He used to. He used to be like
Well, he was a
founder
co-founder
/
of it.
yeah. He doesn't anymore.
Well, I know he's sold off a shit ton of shares, but
No, they at least outed him from having any controlling interest of the company.
controlling interest is like a lot. You have to have like 19%. I feel like he has like 9, but it's still a lot.
But yeah, they kicked him out, and he wanted to name it X, and then he eventually got to name Twitter X. I don't know what his obsession with X is, but whatever.
He has the Model X too, doesn't he? For Tesla.
Yeah, I guess.
Although he did the Model S, the Model X, and the Model 3 so that it would be sex.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's
He
just
wanted to do the Model E, but then some other company had just come out with a Model E, and so he couldn't do it.
That's just dumb. Anyway, so yeah, this movie, if it just was a banger by itself, I don't think it needed those other people
When
to
did you
to
start
come
saying
in.
banger so much? This is the third time you said it this thing.
Okay.
So you
God
gotta-
forbid I use other words.
I want to know
than
who
the
you're
just two
hanging
what
out
is he
with.
supposed to
This is
say?
the
You
You
second
want me to
time.
say fucking cheese and banger?
I
and-
understand. That's what I'm saying. Where you get all this
My God.
dialogue? Who are you talking to?
I'm sorry that I have a better
You've
vocabulary.
been watching
than you.
Jersey Shore. It's fucking banger.
That's not a Jersey thing.
It
think they
isn't.
say
What
in
is it?
Jersey
It
Shore,
seems
but
like a
it's like-
bro thing. Like,
I
dude, that's a banger, bro.
no, in Jersey Shore they're like, oh, I brought her home and banged her.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay. Anyway, I don't think that this movie needed another like high-profile actor to make it better because they've tried that with other movies and it still sucked. It just needed to be a better story. And again, I would give it the benefit of the doubt and go see a sequel if they're able to expand on this type of universe and use the good stuff about the movie and like listen to people that are saying like, okay, all this stuff was fine, but this is generic, this was bad, this is generic, and like make a better movie. Like I'd be all about that.
So I think it would actually make a better series on HBO Max.
Don't we feel that about most things? Like most things I feel like would be a better
No. I'm
series.
saying the sequel because if they did the Reach thing, I feel like they would have a hard time jamming that all into one movie. But if you did it as a series, it would kind of be like a Secret Invasion kind of thing because the Reach come and basically bring technology to help the entire world, but then they're really trying to take over the whole world. So it's that kind of
Microsoft
TV show you've seen before. Like did you ever watch the show V back in the day?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I did.
It was a good show. It got canceled. But
It was an okay show, but yeah, it was enjoyable.
I like what's her face from
The
Deadpool.
main actor, yeah.
Oh, the actress.
Or actress, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if they call them actresses anymore. There was that whole big kerfuffle.
Depends what they identify as.
Well, no, I just mean like there was a big thing where they only wanted to be called actors because it shouldn't be gender specific. It's just you're an actor.
Or a Zactor now. Is that what it is? Z-Zem or something like that?
No.
Is that a real thing?
Isn't that what it is? Not for actors. I'm just saying it's he,
somebody
him,
saying that?
she, her, Z-Zem.
You
or
can
something
pick
like that.
your pronouns, so
idea.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I don't know. I get confused by the whole thing.
You can pick
Okay.
a pronoun.
It's a lot.
It's X.
You can pick your own name too. Who cares about
That's
picking
true.
a fucking pronoun?
I don't care. I just am saying I wonder what it would be instead of actor and actress.
I don't know.
It's weird that it's defaulted to actor, though, since that's, I don't know, isn't that a male connotation?
I think that was the issue that they were thinking. They don't think that should be a male connotation. That it should just be the word.
So
and
they're
it's for
trying to
anybody.
steal our word?
Can you
Man,
pick
we
your
got
name?
it rough. The male
name,
in the
please.
United States has a rough time, I'll tell you what.
Can you pick your name being blank?
I don't think so.
What do
I
you
mean,
mean,
you can-
like no
Like
name
space,
or
yeah,
the
like
word
5
blank?
spaces.
I don't think so. I think the government would send that back to you and be like,
Blank,
no.
blank, blank, blank.
There's the guy that named himself Batman. That's from Maine.
Really?
Yeah.
It'd be so much fun.
So there.
What's your name? I'm Batman. Every time.
LA_A.
I don't think you're allowed an underscore in your name.
It
like
happened.
a legal name.
A woman named her child LA_A, and her name is Ladasha.
That's not a dash though. It's an underscore.
Isn't it? What's
If-
the fuck?
It's just a
A
dash.
hyphen, you mean?
A hyphen or
same
a
thing,
dash.
it's just lower.
The underscore is lower, yes. But if she did with a dash, I think that's okay. People do that with their names, absolutely.
But it's hyphenated.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
right?
last names are hyphenated all the time.
Yeah. So, but that's
You can't underscore your name though.
I don't believe so. That's not.
Can you
What's the word?
parentheses it?
Doubtful.
So you can't do anything with your name. You can do any pronoun you want, but you can't do shit with your name.
you can use letters for your name, yes. Although Elon used a fucking not letter for his kid's name.
Isn't it like lambda or something like that?
That is not how you pronounce it.
What?
That's not how you pronounce
Well,
it.
then it's not lambda. My point is, I thought it was like a Greek letter, like lambda or...
Oh, probably. I don't know. It's a really weird name, and the kid's going to get made fun of, except that he's Elon's kid, so he's got tons of money.
So he probably won't be made fun of at all.
Well, you'll make fun of him and then be like, hey, can your dad buy me a car?
Or he'll hit you with his space laser.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, hey, Dad, can you make this guy disappear?
Have you heard him talk about how he wants to terraform Mars by launching... He's like, the quick way would be to launch nukes over the North and South Pole. And I think it was on... I don't remember who's interviewing him, but he's like, you sound like a fucking supervillain.
That theory has been around for a long time. That's not even his theory, and
I
that would work.
understand that,
But he has the money to do
do
so.
it, yeah.
Well, no, he doesn't have the power to have a nuclear weapon.
Oh, he could probably get one. Like, let's be clear here.
No.
He
Like,
he literally could buy countries that have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, but you can't have a nuclear weapon according to the Geneva Convention.
Unless he...
You have to be like a registered superpower as a nuclear power.
So let's be real
I thought
for a
the
second.
Geneva Convention was about torture.
It is.
So that's not about nukes.
Well, whatever you want to call it. World
Okay.
Safety, Geneva.
Emancipation
fucking-
Proclamation.
Yeah, the
I don't
Emancipation
speak hip-hop.
Proclamation.
But let's be real for a second. If Elon Musk decided to run for president of the United States,
Oh, God.
he'd
He
win.
couldn't.
He'd win.
Why can't he?
Because he's from South Africa.
Oh, that's right. He is from South Africa. Yeah, he wouldn't win.
He's a citizen, though.
No, even if you're a citizen, you have to be born here.
naturalized citizen.
Oh, you do? How
Yes.
come Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of
can't.
California?
That's a governor, not a president.
you have
there-
to be
there's-
born in the United
Yes.
States?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought you just had to be a citizen for
No.
so long.
No.
That is it for governor and like House representatives and blah, 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 blah. Yes. Not president. President, you have to be born
I didn't
here.
realize that.
Yes.
That's why there was a big thing about Barack Obama, because some people say he was actually born in Kenya, but his birth certificate says
stupid.
Hawaii.
Although if I'm making a fake ID, it's gonna say Hawaii.
McLovin.
I mean, to be fair.
I love that you guys are right on the same reference. I love that. Yeah.
That's the best fake ID movie they've ever come out with.
That was a while ago. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it really was.
I mean, Jonah Hill was still fat back then.
Yeah, he was.
And less
douchey?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he might have been that douchey then,
pompous might be a good word.
Yeah. Or are you talking about him being pompous? You're talking about everything with him and his surfer girlfriend and that whole controversy.
I mean, I don't know everything about that, but my understanding is that he didn't want her hanging around other guys and said it in a very like, if that's not okay with you.
Yeah, you gotta look more into it. So he dates this surfer chick who takes photos as part of her job, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't like that you're doing that anymore. You've already done that. You got my attention. So now, yeah, let's not go out and let's not go surfing. Let's not go out with your friends. Let's not do this." Everything she was doing beforehand. It's not like she just picked this up randomly one day.
So then break up with him. The one thing I will say is, as much as we might disagree with his point of view on it, he at least was decent in the way he brought it up, right?
No.
He basically said, these are my expectations. If it doesn't work for you, I've enjoyed our time together, but that it's not going to work for me this way. Yeah, that's how I read those
It just seems very manipulative.
Sure. Yeah.
That's bad, Corey.
Well, I don't know what you mean about manipulative, actually, because it's...
I don't know. You just said yeah.
Well, it's straightforward. If you mean manipulative in the sense that it's this, you got to do it my way or we're done.
Yes, and the fact that it's already, like, this is stuff that she was already doing. This is why he was interested in her.
Well, true, but, like...
She was already posting all these things. She's a famous-ish person for what she was doing.
Well, he's an insecure former fat guy.
Well, either way, like, it just comes off very manipulative, and then it makes me think of other things that'll probably come down the line,
I don't know if I'd say it was manipulative, but I would say it's not... It's very insecure and I would think not very attractive to anybody to be with somebody like that.
Right. I mean, like, unless she chooses to hang out with him versus whatever she had before, like some people choose that. But I would say the flip side of it too is like, you're dating someone and they go to the club all the time, right? And you meet them and you say, okay, well, I don't think that going to the club all the time as a not single person is
that's true.
Fine. You know, like, that is part of the life that you used to do all the time, but you give that up, like, when you're in a relationship. Because, like, you don't go to a bar or a club. Like,
but you're not going to give up your career. Or you shouldn't give up your career. Yes, he did. That was her career.
Okay, but what if her
career was surfing?
Surfing and taking photos where she's going to be wearing skimpy stuff.
Okay, well, keep surfing. Don't do the photos thing.
Yeah, like if you're
part of the job.
If you're an amateur model,
well then sure, he might say, "I would like you to change jobs now." I mean, was she going to do that 10 years down the road when they're trying to start a family?
Maybe
probably not.
It's her career.
Well, okay, I'm saying, do you think skimpy clothes taking pictures is a career that lasts forever?
No, but if that's what you want to do,
I can't do it anymore. I mean,
you couldn't do it to begin with.
How dare you?
I mean, he could do the skimpy clothes thing. But
yeah, that's true.
We would pay him to put it back on.
Dude, there's some weird dudes overseas.
Yeah.
There's some weird dudes here in this room.
That's valid.
Who doesn't want to see a snowbank in fucking lingerie?
What?
That's what he would look like with that fucking shirt off. Yeah, white as a snowbank.
Oh, God.
A snowbank?
I guess.
The beacons are lit.
You think I'm that big? I look like a snowbank.
I think he was more going about how white you are.
I get the white thing, but still, snowbank. That means I'm fucking a presence.
That you're what?
A presence.
Doesn't have to be a
I'm
big
large.
snowbank.
I'm big presence.
A snowbank can be small?
Wow, that's what I'm saying. It could be a small snowbank.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know why you said snowbank anyway.
What else would I say?
don't know.
Snowman?
Yeah.
Snowman is big too.
Yeah. You could have said a melting snowman with still the carrot nose.
But
that would have landed.
Snowman have more balls too, so
That's true.
That's valid.
We have gotten super off topic though, boys, of Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
So with this movie, if Corey could stop fucking sniffling,
I can't. Get rid of your cat.
fucking take some goddamn Claritin before you come over.
Get rid of your cat.
Take some fucking Claritin.
Tough shit.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
Stop fucking sniffling. Goddamn.
Can't help it.
Anyway, Blue Beetle. What do we think about the ending sequence with the fight with, or I guess him coming into the realization that he needs to merge with the Blue Beetle more, which then helps him get out of the restraints, and then the fucking part I hated with the tech guy, followed by like the ending, I guess, fight sequence with him and the other prototype guy. Did we care? Was it fine? Was it bad?
Is not good.
Well, that was action sequences. You liked the action.
Yeah, but like it was like so like cliche 1965 Batman versus Joker. Like, oh, aha, I'll get away. We got no other security except this one big guy, and we're gonna turn him.
Well, you know how I feel about bad people turning good.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially when I don't
Like,
care about them.
Again, the guy just looks like he's been a henchman his whole life, but you're going to change him because you have a little flashback memory thing?
I love the flashback memory. I wish they just would have done more with that character to set that up. Like they did, they tried to give these redeeming arcs to people that they didn't put any time and effort into the whole thing.
They set up the scientist there real good because she kept calling him different names the whole time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
God forbid.
My name is actually 19 words long.
Yeah.
Guillermo!
And I guess the director fought to have that scene in for the villain's like flashback. I guess the studio didn't want it, but he fought to have that in there. Which again, I thought that scene was fine, and it would redeem him.
It would have
if I
definitely
cared
not
him.
made sense if they didn't do that.
Well, they kind of talked about it a little bit throughout the movie, or right towards the end. The Beetle mentions that she saw. So if they didn't have the flashback, you would have just had that part of it of her saying, "I saw." He's
voice
just doing
was
this.
Fucking awful too.
I didn't mind the voice.
It reminds me of like a really bad version of Alexa.
I thought you were gonna turn her on, but you don't turn women on. It's fine.
It's mean.
Just men.
Yeah, it's true. That's
I
why
didn't
we're.
say I'm gay. I'm just
That's
I'm
why
turning
we're in
you
the.
on.
That's why we're in the dark right now, buddy.
I ain't gay. You're gay.
So Corey, stop scrolling on your goddamn phone and actually contribute to this podcast.
Have I not been contributing?
I agree. You have not been contributing.
I have not been contributing.
I agree.
All right. Well, I'll suck a dick then.
That's not much of a contributing factor to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the ending sequence?
I thought it was... I mean, I hate the last scene where they're at like a barbecue and then all that bull crap.
Yeah, that's also very generic. Like
Yeah.
The whole
it always
town
happens.
comes in all at once.
Yeah. And nobody seems to care that he turns to Blue Beetle in front of everybody.
Right? Yeah. No secret identity here.
Yeah.
And then he gets the girl, which was fine. Like,
She's the
obviously
best part of the
obvious.
whole movie.
Yeah, like her character in the beginning didn't really make much sense to me. And then like they slowly started like peeling back some layers of her with everything about her dad, and then things started to make sense. And she might be my probably favorite character of this movie besides for the Blue Beetle himself, and even him was meh.
Jaime.
Is that his name, Jaime?
Yeah.
It's Jamie and Mexican.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Jaime Reyes.
I like him as an actor. Like I loved him. I love him in Cobra Kai.
His first name's Xolo, which I'm sure is common in certain parts of the world, but I'd never heard it before.
Yeah, I've
Zorro.
never heard of Xolo.
Xolo, like L.
Like L?
Well, L.
Yeah, XOLO. And then Duana, but I'm sure you pronounce it differently because it's Spanish. But yeah, XOLO. Weird.
Hello. Oh.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. But yeah, I thought he was fine. I thought Susan Sarandon was a weird choice to be a villain.
Yeah.
Like, not that she can't pull off a villain, because I've seen her villain in other movies, but I don't know if it really fits
She
this
just seems
movie.
like the crotchety old lady, like, not really super villain.
What's some other Susan Sarandon movies?
that
A
where
million
she's
Lifetime movies.
Yeah,
that she's a bad guy, or
just in general.
Oh God!
But she just plays a wicked stepmother like 8 times.
Does she?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I bet she does.
I think she's in
I bet a lot of them are Lifetime
Little Woman,
movies.
James and the Giant Peach. There is one literally called Stepmom.
I was gonna say she's in the one with Cameron Diaz. I think it is.
The Hunger, Pretty Babe, Thelma and Louise,
Oh.
Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Oh yeah.
Enchanted, Speed Racer, The Lovely Bones, Cloud Atlas, The Meddler. So she's done a bunch.
She's always in random stuff.
Yeah, she was in Rescue Me, which I was very
That's
surprised
right.
to see. Yeah, she ends up hooking up with Franco.
Franco, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say who's she hook up with?
Yeah,
And then
Franco.
she takes his kid.
Oh yeah,
or something.
she straight up like kidnaps his kid.
I don't mix them up necessarily, but I always kind of, I guess mix them up a little bit. But her and not Susan Sarandon.
You mix up Susan Sarandon with Susan Sarandon?
See, I'm doing it again. Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, there's Sigourney.
They look anything alike.
I'm not saying they look a lot alike, but I just feel like they're in that same, like they probably auditioned for a lot of the same
No
shit.
fucking way.
Why?
Sigourney Weaver's an alien.
What?
I'm not saying then, I'm saying now, like the last 10 years.
Can you imagine seeing Susan Sarandon in Alien?
Maybe.
Fuck no.
You don't know.
Hell no.
I don't even know what she looked like in the 80s, so I have no idea.
Sigourney Weaver? Dude,
No.
she's not,
You meant
Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon.
That's what I'm
Not
saying.
good.
I can't
She
picture
was-
anything she was in.
I feel like she's in like the Golden Girls.
Who? Susan Sarandon?
Yeah, she
No,
seems
she's
like
not the
Golden Girls type of actress.
She's won Golden Globes. Does that help you?
Well, Sigourney Weaver's won Golden Gloves
I don't think that's
against
true.
aliens.
All right. So where do we think they go? Do you think it's going to
Back
be just
home, they get
dropped?
deported.
Like, do you think this movie's just because right now in its opening weekend,
I don't
it
think
made only $25 million domestically.
I don't think we're gonna see the end of Xolo playing Blue Beetle. It just might not be in another standalone Blue Beetle movie. I'm really hoping they do like a Teen Titans or Young Justice show or movie live action, which I know they had a Teen Titans live action on Max, but
I'm watching that right now. Season 4.
yes.
So by the way, this is considered the DCEU.
Q.
No Q. Just
I.
DCEU.
What's that mean?
It's part of the DC extended universe, so it's not part of the reboot. But
Part
the
of the Justice League
character
universe
is supposed to be
carrying over.
carried over, but I don't know how. Like
I know that guy Xolo wants to keep playing Blue Beetle really bad, and I doubt they're paying him a ton to do it. And
Yeah,
then
I
I
don't
doubt they're going to pay him a ton more now that it was a flop. So
Yeah.
I feel like he could easily get into a TV show, kind of like Peacemaker.
So speaking of Peacemaker, because you talked about it earlier, I meant to mention it.
I did.
Probably the best invasion type of movie or Secret Invasion TV show movie that's been out there. Like it did Secret Invasion better than Secret Invasion. It would probably do it better than this would do if it's on the same vein as what that movie was. It would do it better with with what you were talking about with the other scarabs coming. Because Peacemaker's all about what are they, butterflies or fairies or moths or something?
Yeah, some kind of butterfly moth thing.
Did you watch Peacemaker, Mike?
No.
Oh
What?
God, it's
dude,
so
you gotta
good.
watch it.
I
What's
know,
his
it's in the-
sidekick guy's name?
Oh, damn it! He's so funny too.
He's great.
Damn it! Now I'm gonna have to look this up because
Yeah.
I don't remember. I might just go back and watch
I remember
it.
him from the reboot of Suicide Squad. But
And yeah, he was good in that.
yeah.
And it's even better as a TV show. It's so fucking funny.
I love when he's in the classroom getting mad at the kids because they're like giving him shit about not being a good enough superhero.
Oh, yeah.
And then his neighbor comes up and he's like, Batman has the Riddler, the Penguin. Who do you have? And he's like, Batman's got jack shit. Flies around with a cape, for fuck's sake.
Vigilante.
Yeah. Vigilante. I knew it was something like that, but I just couldn't think of
His
it.
sidekick is literally named Vigilante.
Yeah, but he's not actually like supposed to be a superhero.
Yeah.
He just wants to be.
He's kind of like insane.
Yeah.
He
It's so good,
He
Mike.
knows the guy Peacekeeper in his real life, finds out he's Peacekeeper, and then basically becomes his friend and wants to fight crime, but he's just like insane.
That would be Corey if KJ ever got superpowers.
And then they also like
I don't want to be a sidekick.
I really want to be a superhero. KJ,
You think I'd want to hit? You see the amount of air that would go in his head being a superhero? I'd be a fucking other state by then.
he'd be the villain. Don't you worry.
That's true. I would be the villain.
If KJ ever became a superhero, Corey would spend all of his time just being a techno genius.
Good luck with that. But yeah, that's a great show, Mike. I highly recommend it. Especially if you're watching Max anyway for the other shit, like you'll laugh your balls off the entire
You
time.
should watch Young Justice though if you haven't. It's great. Much better introduction to Blue Beetle too.
I'm watching Titans.
I need to watch some of those DC animated ones. I still want to
so
watch
good.
the Flash Paradox one just because
Watch Red Sun.
I've heard from you and others so many good things about it compared to the fucking movie.
Well, that's the low bar, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Their
Like,
animated stuff is way
Great.
better than any of their live
Young
action
Justice,
which is so weird to me. How do you not just go, hey, look at this. We're just going to put that on the screen. See, everybody that loved this, we're just going to do it again.
stuff. I feel like it
Okay.
wouldn't transfer very well.
I don't know. There's some of them that
I don't know.
why
I don't
wouldn't you
see
be able to do
why.
it shot for shot and then just do it with real life? Because we have the CGI technology and most people do not watch the animated shit.
Yeah, but like,
Flashpoint Paradox was like super easy to adapt. It wouldn't even be that much CGI.
the
except for the
Flashpoint
Flash.
from the Flash, the TV show, was fine as well.
But look at
What was
that I
that?
dropped a water.
No, I mean, what? I'm talking to him.
Oh.
I don't care about your water.
How dare you?
What do you mean the Flashpoint where he goes back and
Yeah, and he finds out that it's like the Reverse Flash is the one that killed his mom, and he tries to save her
but
and
that wasn't
everything.
Really,
That's
was
the
like-
Flashpoint Paradox.
that was their version, I guess, but it just wasn't very.
I just fucking said that.
I know, but my point is, it's like,
Was that not better than the movie, though?
well, I mean, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Who the
Yeah.
fuck just fucked with their microphone?
I sat up and hit
God
my
damn it,
chest.
Corey.
What the? Oh, did that
Always-
ruin everything?
Well, I mean, you're the one who knocked out my headset. You're the one that's kicking your feet around, fucking taking off your shoes. You're the one who needed the light off.
He has to have the light off so you don't see him just fucking losing his shit over there.
Just kicking his feet like a
he's-
toddler.
Oh, yeah, he's
Like,
flailing
"Wee!"
hard.
But no, there's no reason that I can see that why you couldn't, besides for studios thinking it won't translate, which I think is wrong. And they're like, oh, well, there's certain tropes that if we're going to release it to a wide audience, if we do this trope, it's going to get more people in. If you just make a good fucking movie, James Gunn has proved that if you just make a good movie, even if it's obscure, people will go watch that shit. So take a movie that's had critical acclaim that's animated and just fucking, or at least try one. Why
Treasure
not
Planet.
try one? That's so well done that you've gotten all these rave reviews about. Try one. Look at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, that one is literally made to be comic-ish. So that one probably wouldn't really translate overly well to live action, but
I think those would, for sure.
translate into live action
Yeah, I mean,
with
you
all the color shifts, with all the way they do the
you just lose that portion of it.
well, no, you'd also lose all the blurbs, because it's supposed to be a comic. That's the look that you're going for
I
in this animated
understand,
thing.
but having Miles Morales as Spider-Man, that would be fine.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I'm
That
sure
story-
they're
that
going
story-
to do that.
The story is good. You can make it do very well.
Yeah, but the other elements of that movie are so well done because it's
Well, it's going to be its whole separate movie, though.
I know, but that's the thing. I don't want it to be. I want it to literally just copy and paste it in the live action.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and it
you
should
can't-
translate. Well, there are some that you can. I'm saying that one specifically wouldn't. I'm saying there are other ones. It sounds like what Corey was saying about the Flashpoint one could literally just copy and paste it in live action if they did it shot for shot. Because how long is that movie? Like an hour and a half?
Probably, yeah.
So maybe they add a little bit more to it to make it like 2 hours, because that's what they like to do for superhero movies, make it like 2:15. But for the most part, it's a shot for shot. Why not at least try that once and see like, oh shit, yeah, that's actually kind of killed it. Let's keep doing that. Look at what Disney's doing with all their live action remakes, how much money they've made off most of them until recently.
Did you know Injustice is rated R?
I did not know
The
that.
animated one?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea why. There's no swearing in it. There's just like a lot of
blood.
violence.
That's another one I would like to see in live action. I feel like Zack Snyder was heading in that direction too, which sucks.
Isn't that one directed by Zack Snyder?
The animated?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So one of them that I watched has Zack Snyder on it.
As a director or just like an executive producer?
Something. Saw his
I
name
don't know.
in the credits.
By the way, Young Justice is done in the same style as a lot of those movies you're talking about, like
It's animated?
Flashpoint. Yeah, it's the same animation kind of style. It all started with Justice League War, and then like that style became like a staple.
That
for their
animation
animated.
style was animated Batman.
No,
Like from like 1995, dude.
No,
it's the
it's not the same
style
style.
art. Fuck off!
it's
isn't.
not the same style.
So in Teen Titans Go, he's just a guest star,
No.
but he hasn't directed any television shows.
Animated anything? They're not television shows.
They're movies.
movies.
Technically,
They're
but,
movies,
yeah.
okay.
Just look up DC
Rebel
animated.
Moon, Part 1 and 2, Army of Thieves,
Oh, that's
Suicide
coming
Squad.
out.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm so excited to see that.
The Justice League's Army of the Dead, Wonder Woman 1984. He didn't
No.
direct, but he was part of it. Justice League, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Man of Steel, Sucker Punch.
Wait, what did you just say? Oh, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the title of the live action one?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it was Dawn of Justice.
Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Gahul. I don't know. Watchmen, 300, Dawn of the Dead. Those are the only ones he's directed.
Okay, is there like executive producer or something? I swear I saw him on one of the animated ones in the credits.
Yeah, this also had lists those all out. And he's not on there for a producer.
Maybe it was Snyder was the last name, but it wasn't Zach. It was another Snyder.
I don't know.
So what is Rebel Moon? That's not DC, is it? It's
So
just
Rebel Moon was
That's
supposed to be his Star Wars movie, and then it got scrapped. And so
Zack Snyder's
yeah.
Star
So
Wars movie?
what's the movie about the Seven Samurai? That's like an old movie that a lot of people base stuff off. It's like a really famous movie. I can't think what it's called right now. Nobody's got it.
Rising Sun.
I don't know what we're talking about. So now I got
Old
nothing.
movie about Seven Samurai. I think it's
I got
just
nothing.
called Seven Samurai, but then there's a director who was famous, Yorigawa or something like that. But anyway, that's George.
1954?
What's that?
1954?
Probably, yeah.
Seven Samurai.
And who's it by?
It is
I can't remember.
Akira
Yeah,
Kurosawa.
Kurosawa. Yeah,
Oh, this is going to be a Netflix movie.
yeah. So he was supposed to make a Star Wars
It's
movie.
a 2-part
Yeah,
or 3-part?
2.
2-part.
And it was supposed to be based. It's like he wanted to go back to more the Seven Samurai kind of style,
Which is cool
and
because
involve no characters. From
I didn't
Star
know
Wars,
it was
but
a Star Wars movie, but
It's
you
not.
see like a Star Wars style, but
It was
there are
supposed to be,
characters
yeah.
with like lightsabers.
yeah.
They
So
look
it,
like lightsabers.
it was supposed to be a Star Wars movie, and he had been signed on to do it, and then they scrapped it. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make it on Netflix. Like I'm gonna sell the script and just change it from Star Wars."
Yep.
So it's basically Star Wars meets like Ronin or something like that.
Right. I have a little Star Wars Ronin of a stormtrooper.
Oh yeah, yeah. That series was wicked cool. I
The
can't
Black
remember who
series?
did that. Oh, is that what it was? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there was this guy, Japanese artist, who made a series of like samurai characters of Star Wars characters. So there's like a really cool,
Boba Fett.
yeah, and he did DC too. So there's like a really cool Joker one.
Yeah.
Um,
But the one I have is Black Series.
oh, that's cool. I like the Black Series stuff. It's cool.
So, what I can tell from this podcast is even though this movie wasn't awful, it really wasn't too much to talk about.
No, I
'Cause
would have
we
rather
have been
talked about
going
Ahsoka.
off of we are going off into so many different tangents, mostly because it hasn't like kept our attention. Unlike last week when we were talking about South Park, and granted South Park has 26 seasons to go off of, but we were just talking about that and barely strayed away from it.
Yeah.
Um.
So final thoughts about Blue Beetle.
Yeah, that's where I was headed. Is the
Yeah.
final thoughts?
It is mildly forgettable.
I'd say it was mildly entertaining while also being forgettable.
Yeah. Forgettable.
It was neither good nor bad.
And I have it a 5 out of 10. Corey, you said like a 6.5.
6.5 probably, maybe 6.25.
And what about you, Mike?
Yeah, 5 sounds fair.
Yeah, it's definitely watchable, and it's got its
It was
moments.
watchable once.
Yeah, once. And the only reason to ever rewatch it again is if they do a second one, and the second one is so fucking good that you're like, all right, let's go back and give the first one another shot. Which I don't see happening.
And then you're going to lower your score.
Well, although
damn it.
Because
a lot of
especially if the
times-
second one is good, you'd be like, oh, this is really good. Let's watch the first one. You watch it and I was like, oh, that's really bad compared to the first one.
See,
That's
if anything,
or
I'll watch
second
the
one.
first one before I go watch the second one, so I can appreciate it more if it is good.
Or it's just gonna set your expectations low for the
Well, that's what
second
I'm saying.
one.
Yeah, it's gonna feel better. So I feel like DC played the long game where they're like, we'll make a bunch of shitty ones while they're still gonna buy tickets, and then now James Gunn comes in, starts
Except
making good
nobody's
ones.
buying tickets. That's part of the problem.
Well, I understand. I meant for like the last 10 years. They're at the tail end of that.
The last
now.
like 6 movies that have come out have all been losses for them.
Well, see, they got to a point. They wrote it while they could. Just throw anything out there and make money.
Yeah, the Justice League that came out and Batman vs Superman made a lot of money, and
That's
then
it.
it just ruined it for fans because we're like, this is such shit.
I feel like if I were making movies, I would just continuously make a Batman movie every year because people are always going to go see it.
Yeah, but unless you lose their trust, I feel like people wouldn't,
Yeah.
because that's what's happening now. You're losing trust in the studio. Like James Gunn does a movie, I'm probably gonna go see it because I have trust in him after 1, 2, and 3 of Guardians.
Hmm.
Yeah, if Nolan does a movie, I'm probably gonna see it. He has trust with all the movies that he's put out. So I think it
Have you seen
depends on that.
Oppenheimer yet?
Yes.
Is it good?
It could be about 30 minutes shorter, but yeah, it's really good. But it's a lot of exposition, a lot of talking,
Yeah. that's
not
what
a
I heard.
lot of stuff being done, but to
Well, I
be
mean,
fair,
it's
that's
about
kind of what was happening.
building the bomb, not
Yeah. Or
dropping them.
not only necessarily building it, but coming up with the idea of it and the math behind it and how it's supposed to work and coming up with brand new ideas.
Do they give you a schematic how to build
They
it?
do not.
Well,
Yeah.
Say
it's
for
not like it's
$17
that
you get-
hard. You can Google how to make the bomb. The problem is you can't find uranium.
I don't think it's as easy as you think, Corey.
Well, no, I'm not saying I have the tools at home to do it. Even with that, I'm saying
I hope the feds are listening, Corey.
I mean, let
Bob,
him listen.
Bob, Bob,
Let him
Bob,
listen.
Bob.
Corey does not have nuclear capabilities
Wink, wink.
at this time.
All right, so that's gonna do it for us for this week. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about next week. We're not talking
Ahsoka.
about it. No, not until it's over.
Ahsoka.
No, not until it's over. For fuck's sake.
For
we don't-
fuck's
for fuck's
sake.
sake.
For fuck's sake.
I don't think there's any. I know that the
He just went
next
French on me, man.
movie. I am
For
French.
fuck's sake.
Where the fuck was it?
I know the next movie that I want to see in theaters isn't until the end of September, which is the new Saw movie.
I thought we were going
but-
to talk about the fucking Witcher.
Yeah, Corey needs to finish The Witcher. That's right. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, next week we're going to do The Witcher, whether Corey's fucking watched it or not.
Yeah, that's fair. If I'm
Yeah.
not done it by then, feel free to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Yeah, we'll talk next week.